Party people, how you feeling?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Papa Jug podcast. It is Sunday night if you're watching this live on YouTube, and for everybody else, it's whatever time it is. I have no idea. I want to welcome you back here. We did not get to do this on Friday night. Something very important came up, and that got taken care of. So now that that is resolved, we are here with all of the content, catching up on 2 weeks worth of stuff. And why is it 2 weeks worth of stuff? Well, because last week I was in Las Vegas and not able to record. So we are doing this now live on YouTube on a Sunday night, the 21st. Now, here's something that we didn't plan on talking about, but nevertheless, I must mention it. It is highly likely that the time between when I record this on YouTube, or broadcast it on YouTube, I should say, when I broadcast this on YouTube, and when it goes live to all the audio sites like Spotify, Twitter will have changed to the literal symbol for those who are illiterate and writing a signature. Twitter will become X. I have no idea. Of all the dumb things, I can't even explain how dumb this is. I appreciate that Musk is trying to create this all-inclusive brand of social and payments and videos and streaming and blah, whatever. Great. But literally, oh wait, we are on the wrong, hold on. I just realized there is a major problem with this. This is not right. Hold, please. This is the wrong show. You're at the right show. Don't worry, everybody. You're at the right place. But it's the wrong screen. Totally pro podcaster. And go. This is so wrong. What is happening? That's still the wrong one. Oh, I swear it's wrong. It's so wrong. Hold on. I'm an expert at this. You wouldn't know it, but I am. Let's try that. Hey, that's what our show's about tonight. Good God. All right. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna get rid of some things. Anyway, so yeah, at some point between when this is broadcast live and when you hear the audio released, there is a high likelihood that Twitter will become X. In Elon Musk's own words, he's going to replace all the birds and just make it an X logo. And he, I think it was early Sunday morning, he was broadcasting some interim logo. How you put out an interim logo for one of the most recognized brands on the planet, literally, to tweet is a verb. And we're not talking about birds. To tweet is a verb. And he's just throwing that away. I don't understand. This is a whole level of just absolute uncontrolled childishness. Okay, anyways. Life goes on. We're fine. So anyways, so I may be Xing this instead of tweeting it out. I don't know. He actually tweeted, "What should we call tweets from now on?" You spent $44 billion on a company, you piece of shit. You spent $44 billion on a company. You're going to change its entire brand, and you haven't thought about what you're going to call the product? What? Once again, you know what? Let's forget Elon Musk. Let's talk about the CEO who is useless. Let's talk about the CEO who clearly has no control over this company. Elon picked a CEO who is just going to back him up days after he tweets things. He's gonna have an idea. He's gonna execute it because he's the owner. He's the sole owner, by the way. He's the owner of the company. He's gonna tweet it. He's gonna think it. He's gonna put it into action. And she's just gonna come along later and be like, "This is such a good idea. I love this." She's a rubber stamp. She's useless. And okay, this is not the point of tonight's show. Okay. But that is what's going to happen. So I just want to let everybody know that what we are probably going to get is some new thing called X. We don't quite know what that means. We don't quite know what a tweet is going to be called. We don't know what a string of tweets is. It going to be a thread? Because he's not going to use that word anymore. We know that now that Meta has taken threads, he's not going to call them Twitter threads or tweet threads or threads of anything. So what is it? My theory, and I posted this on Twitter so that everybody can recognize when I'm right. I think they're going to be called X's, which the state of Texas is going to love, and Elon Musk loved Texas. He loves Texas. The state of Texas loves Texas. And all your X's live in Texas. So he's going to call it X's. They're going to be X's. I'm going to X it. I'm going to X that, and I've got a bunch of X's in a row. So if you have 3 X's in a row, is that triple X and therefore a violation of the terms of service? I don't know. Nobody knows. Apparently Elon Musk doesn't know. Mr. Billionaire has no idea what this means because he's given 12 seconds of thought to it. And he's like, oh, good idea. And he's going to go run off and do this. So that's what we get to deal with is... I mean, this is how children think, right? This is just we're going to run off. We had an idea, and who really cares what's going to happen with it? What we're going to do is we're just going to change it, and we're going to have fun with that. And then if it breaks, oh, well, not my problem. Okay, great. That's Twitter for you. That's what we're doing now. Welcome to, I'm sorry, that's X now. So X is going to be a thing. Probably, but he said sometime Sunday night, and this usually gets broadcast on the audio gets broadcast on Monday mornings, 4 a.m. Pacific time. So by the time that happens, yeah, we've got a new Twitter logo, which he even called, the file is called interim logo. Fuck is an interim logo? I just okay, I'm breathing. I am not what this is what you can do with $100 billion, and you know he's worth what, $200 billion now? I forget because I honestly don't give a shit. I don't track his net worth because it's just ridiculous to keep up with. But this is what you can do. You can fire thousands of people because you feel like it, and then you can change the company name because you feel like it to something you haven't thought of for more than 4 seconds. I realize that I'm making the time of his thought process smaller and smaller, but that's, I think, fair. But that's just me. So let's talk about the rest of the important things of tonight. We've wasted 8 minutes on this stupid topic, and whatever. I'll exit. How does that even make sense? I'm leaving? Great. If I'm going to exit instead of tweet it means I'm going to tweet. If I exit, that means I'm leaving. Is that really what you want your users to be saying? I'm leaving 1,000 times a day? Oh, I'm sorry. We can't do it 1,000 times today because if you're not a verified Twitter user, you can't see 1,000 tweets. Oh, I mean X's. I mean, you can see 1,000 X's, but that just makes you a pimp. I don't understand this. Okay. Hey, you want to talk about Twitch? I'm just fucking done. It's so stupid. Let's talk about Twitch. Twitch is doing some cool shit. Here's the thing about Twitch. Twitch has gotten a lot of bad press. We've talked about it on this show, but we've also given them credit, and I want to make you all aware of this. Hey, everybody in chat, how are you? Yes, Twitter has become Elon's next temper tantrum. Right, he can't rail against liberals, so he's going to rail against the people who use his site, which was primarily liberals. I don't know if he's caught on to this yet, and I don't care what your political perspectives are. I don't care what my political... That is not this show. My point is, most Twitter users were left of center. Maybe they were maybe they were left, but that was most of his audience, and he's like, fuck you. Anyways, we're doing it again. Jesus, okay. Twitch. So here's the thing. I want to make you all very clear on something. You will always be able to get this on this show. We are very platform independent. We will talk about all the streaming platforms. We will talk about all the gaming platforms. We will talk about all the gaming developers. We're just here to talk about stuff. Like, we're here to build community, and everybody's going to have different opinions. That's cool. But we're not going to like only say the good things about a company or only say the bad things about the company. We'll give them credit where credit is due, and we'll point out the flaws that need to be fixed. That's what you'll get here, okay? That's the Papa Jug podcast. Cool. Let's talk about Twitch. Recently, really recently, they've had some good ideas. They've released some good ideas. We've talked about some of the new ones that they released in the month of June. They talked about some really cool stuff like with Hype Chat, some new security features, things like that. Great. Now they have even better ones that they announced at TwitchCon Paris. What did they talk about? Well, they talked about things like stories. So I've got two big things that came out. Now, there were a lot of announcements at TwitchCon Paris. You can read the blogs about it. They've gone through everything. But I want to focus on a couple of things that were really, really overdue. Twitch has said, and I went to last year's TwitchCon, and I will be going to this year's TwitchCon. By the way, if you are going to TwitchCon, I would love to meet with you. Come out to TwitchCon. It's in Las Vegas. You can spend all your money on Twitch merch. You can spend all your money on my merch, or you can spend all your money at a casino or alcohol. Maybe you're going to a bar. Maybe you're picking up hookers in the nearby counties because you can't get a hooker in Vegas. It is illegal in Henderson County. But outside of that county, totally legal. Anyways, lots of ways to spend money in Nevada. But I would love to meet up with you. I will be at TwitchCon 2023. So, a couple of things that they announced at Paris. One, stories. Does anybody remember a site called Snapchat? I'm just going to let that hang in the air for a second because all of you went, oh yeah. Right. Nobody gives a shit anymore. Anyways, Snapchat had this cool feature called it still exists. Snapchat has stories. It's not proprietary. It's not something that you could like trademark or patent or whatever. So everybody stole it. Instagram stole it, then YouTube stole it, everybody stole it. Now Twitch is stealing it. Here's the thing. For Twitch's entire existence, Twitch has said, we are not your discovery platform. You are intended to be discovered elsewhere. Use other sites. Go on to Twitter, whatever it's called. I don't know. Nobody knows anymore. Whatever. Fill in blank here. Go to that other site. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Pinterest. Who cares? Everywhere else is where you're going to be discovered. And you're going to send that traffic into Twitch because Twitch is where you're going to create your hub, your live content that people can engage with you and watch you create and be amazing and entertain. That's what Twitch was about. Twitch said, go get discovered elsewhere. Twitch has changed that because the audience and the creators themselves have said, we would like the ability to discover people on the site that you built. You built Twitch. We have people on Twitch that we follow. We'd like to find other ones that maybe are similar, or maybe they have something that we've never seen before. We want to see that. And Twitch said, no, you don't get that on our site. On our site, you get the live content, and everywhere else, go find them. So what they're doing is they're creating Twitch stories. There will now be a dedicated section where you can find what is almost certainly going to be vertical content. Vertical content that you can scroll through just like every other social site that you're on. They all have it. And that's what's going to be found there. And you're going to be able to find these short clips of things that are going to entertain you and hopefully generate more interest in their live content. And you can follow the channel directly from stories. That's pretty cool. We like that. Now, Twitch Stories is part of a larger thing where Twitch is creating entire discovery hubs. It's this whole thing, and I want to describe it, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, here we go. I want to give a quote here. Quote, and this is from Twitch. Quote, because Twitch is all about live interactive channels, it's not our goal for viewers to spend hours in a clips feed. And they are going to encourage you to spend as little time there as possible, but they do want it to exist. Quote, our investment in clips is to help viewers discover your channel so they join you and your community when you stream. Twitch plans to conduct, that was the end of the quote. Twitch plans to conduct limited testing of the discovery feed before rolling out the feature to the broader Twitch user base in late 2023. So this is something that we're going to see in testing over the next few weeks and months. I'm betting it doesn't roll out until at least November. I'm thinking that they're going to be testing this. They want to see how this goes. They want to probably lead it up into like the holiday season, but I'm betting November because they need to get a lot of data on how people are using this, and they need to get data for a couple of things, not just usage, but also language. There's going to be language differences and cultural differences because not all countries or cultures consume stories the same way. It's a different thing. So got to be mindful of that, and I think they're going to want to do some testing. And also, it's just about August. Like, let's be honest. I'm recording this on July 23rd, 2023. So we're basically in August already, which means they're going to test in August, September, do some innovation, blah, blah, blah. We're in November. We're done. That's November. So that's going to be the case. And again, that is part of a larger like discovery hub where there's going to be other ways for people to find creators. That's cool. Let's give Twitch credit for what it's doing. They are innovating. They are trying to come up with new things. And what I'm really interested in finding out is, are they going to have additional announcements at TwitchCon Las Vegas. It's a hashtag, people. You got to use it. Hashtag TwitchCon Las Vegas. You will find Papa Juggernaut there. That's the whole I don't know if you guys know that, but that's the whole Twitch hashtag. It's hashtag TwitchCon Las Vegas. You can find Papa Juggernaut here. That's the long version. Just type that in. It only takes up a few extra characters. Just saying. Make that a thing. Everybody go X that. This is so fucking dumb. Okay. So I think that Twitch has done some cool stuff. I think that they are going to be more functional, more interesting. And once again, they are showing that they have both the infrastructure, the internal processes, and the budget to build new features like this. This doesn't exist on Kick. This barely exists on YouTube. It kind of exists on YouTube, but in a different way. I'm not knocking the YouTube Shorts program or whatever. I'm really not. I'm simply saying that I think Twitch is going to be more integrated. I think it's going to be more of a direct path from really, really pushing people from shorts or clips, from clips to follows, from clips to channel. I think that's what Twitch is going to be doing. I think YouTube is fine, and we know, forget my thoughts. We know YouTube is fine with having people spend hours in their shorts feeds. They're even monetizing it. Like it's a thing for YouTube. They're like, fine, spend 3 hours here. Just keep scrolling. Who cares? You're on our site. You're not on somebody else's site. Winning. So there's that. But anyways, so I think that that's a thing, and I think that that's an important one, and I think that Twitch should get credit for creating these new features on their platform that you will not find on others. The way that they're going to do it is going to be more, I believe, based on what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, I think it's going to be more holistic. Okay? Let's go to the next topic, which is going to be Grand Theft Auto 6. Wait, what do you mean, Jug? There is no Grand Theft Auto 6. Yes, there is. It's just not out yet. So here's the deal. There is... Oh, that's what I got rid of. Shit. All right. So there is a guy. He claims to be a Rockstar insider, leaker, whatever you want to call him. But he has published some tweets that say that we should expect a trailer for GTA 6. Sorry, I completely forgot what we were talking about. A trailer for GTA 6 as early as the Games Award show. He's saying that it could drop then. He knows his prediction. He is saying that GTA 6 is going to launch in 2024, which that seems so super early. And I understand we're only halfway through 2023, but 2024 still seems rushed. A lot goes into these games, and this is supposed to have some innovative ideas. So we're going to see what this takes, but whatever. So yeah, anyways, the new leak is that we could get a trailer or some true verified official information as of August. We may see the trailer drop at the Games Award show potentially November, and then we should see the game in 2024. If it's 2024, I still don't think that's going to happen. I still don't think. If it's 2024, it's going to be the end of the year. It will be the holiday season. September would probably be the earliest because they've released nothing. Like, they have been radio silent about this. Okay, whatever. September 2024 at the earliest, which means we are approximately 13 months away still, 14 months away still. Okay, let's let that go. Interestingly, he also had a leak, or I should say a theory. I have no idea what he's actually leaking because we don't know how much of this. He also talked about the fact that a Red Dead Redemption 1 remaster comes out this year. He is actually saying that there will be a Red Dead Redemption 1 remaster. It will come out around September, October, potentially. I have a couple of issues with that. One, we did see the South Korean thing. We talked about the fact that the South Korean rating agency has re-rated the game, Red Dead Redemption 1. Jesus. They re-rated it, and that's usually a sign that there's something new coming. Okay, cool. But that's a lot of work, and I know they're putting a lot into GTA 6, so I don't know if Rockstar is going to be doing that. Maybe they will, which would be cool. I would love to see it, especially if they port it over to PC, because then I get to play it. Yay! I'm not buying it on Xbox. So there's that. So if we get the Red Dead remaster, great. My problem with the theory that he's got for the award show for the trailer for GTA 6, Rockstar doesn't need to tie it to anything else. Rockstar hasn't done that in a while. They don't need to connect it to an event. They don't need to use some other platform to push their announcement. They could literally do this on the day the President of the United States is assassinated. And everybody will still tweet about GTA 6. Like, it will take over the news cycle. That's how much of a big deal this is. We are a decade, more than a decade past GTA 6. Or GTA 5, good God. You know, so it's just, they got, or Red Dead. So all of these things have, I don't know, but I wanted to bring you whatever is coming out about this. Could GTA 6 be dropped at the trailer be dropped by the end of this year? Yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me if it does, but I don't see it being dropped at an award show. I think that would be sort of diminishing Rockstar's PR capability, and that's not going to happen. Could we see a Red Dead remaster before the end of this year? Yes, we can. I still think that's right. And this leaker is also predicting that. I will have a link to the tweets in the show notes. It's a little convoluted because it's a thread, basically. Sorry, it's a series of tweets. It's not a thread. It's a series of tweets. So you can keep up with that, but whatever. In chat, 2024 for a AAA game, I'd say maybe early 20. I'm leaning towards that as well. Early 2025, which would honestly, I think, be unfortunate because if it's early 2025, they're going to miss the holiday season. And the leaker said that the game could cost as much as $150. I doubt that. I highly doubt that. I am going on record right here in the 9th episode of this podcast. GTA 6 will not cost $150. It won't cost $140. It won't cost $130. It's not going to be that expensive. It's way too much of a shock. Could they pull in $100 a title? Yes. I think they could easily do that. With so many titles now going to $80 is almost an industry standard, which sucks, by the way. If you're a game studio, listen to the words coming out of my mouth. $80 for a game is stupid. Bring the price back down. You're doing fine financially. So, but will it be $150? No. And if I'm wrong, I will do this right now. If I'm wrong about this, I will buy one of you GTA 6. If GTA 6 comes out at $150 a pop, not some stupid premium deluxe, get a controller, blah, blah, blah. No. The game, just the game. If the game comes out at $150 a pop, I will buy one of you the title. Okay? That's what that's how confident I am that I am not going to be giving any of you $150. My money. Anyways. So that's what's going on. That is the latest. Red Dead Redemption remaster probably coming out by the end of this year. I agree with that. Trailer dropping by the end of this year. I might agree with that. I'm not so sure. Game coming out in 2024. I'm less sure of that. Game costing $150 per copy. No. I am so not confident about that I will buy one of you a copy if I'm wrong. Let's move on in life, shall we? Up next tonight, we are talking about Ubisoft. Why are we talking about Ubisoft? Why? I don't know. Here we go. This is why. it is now coming out that this game studio is going to delete your account if you don't log into it. They're tired of people just getting a title and then never playing again. So, yeah. I don't blame them. It's kind of, if you're not interested in the titles and you're not logging in, great. What I don't understand is why they're deleting the account. Like, that's extreme. Like, people are dedicated to having accounts. Now, maybe, maybe Ubisoft, maybe you didn't make a lot of great titles recently and people aren't interested in them. Just a theory. Maybe that's where some people are at, okay? So maybe they haven't had a reason to log in. Okay, give them a reason. Put out some cool content. Put out some, and I don't mean like a whole new title. I'm not saying like drop a new AAA title. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is give them something, shoot them an email, tweet to whatever, X them, whatever the fuck you're gonna do. That. Get in touch and be like, hey, we want to see you again. So, download this free giveaway for a plushie or some shit. Whatever. Give them something that is a reason to log in. And do this for like a year. Give them so many opportunities to log in. And then after that, come back and say, great, effective, March 31st, we are going to begin deleting accounts that have not been logged into for any of the amazing offers and content that we have created. If we haven't seen you in a while, we appreciate your customer. We appreciate your past involvement in our titles. We hope you see you in the future. But right now it seems like we're not a good fit, so we're going to move on. I don't know, something like that. So if that's the case, great. And they've got, like I said, I understand that there are many reasons that a company would want to do this. Maintaining inactive accounts is a waste of space. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And they do have to maintain them. There may be laws that are playing into this. You've got the privacy laws across the globe are a nightmare. I do not envy any international company, my own included, where you have to comply with so many different privacy laws. And gaming companies are some of the worst because they've got so much data on their users. It's crazy. So, compliance issues, all of these things. I don't blame Ubisoft or any other company for wanting to remove the accounts. I just think that, sending people random emails saying, hey, you haven't logged in a while, so we're going to log you out. I don't think there's enough warning for this. And I don't think that that's the way to do it. I think there's a more positive, more proactive way to do it. And I think that there's a lot of marketing and sales opportunities if they were to approach it from a different perspective. So I get it. Ubisoft, like every other company, they need to get rid of inactive accounts. We're going to go back to Elon Musk's ridiculous company now. You may remember a couple of months ago, he tweeted that inactive Twitter accounts were going to be removed. Guess what? Bullshit. They're not. I can tell you that right now. The guy who has my username hasn't logged in a decade. It's been a fucking decade. Dude has not logged in or tweeted ever. Is that account still active? Yes, it is. So fuck you and your dumbass ideas. So anyways, yeah, so that's where that is. But so make sure if you have a Ubisoft account and you don't want to lose it, make sure you log into it at some point soon, because you will probably get a notice that it will or has been deleted. So be careful with that. Hold on. I'm going to back up here. So that's a good question. This just popped up in chat. Do you want bots that log in to keep people's accounts open? Because this is how you get bot accounts. They might. I'm not sure they would care. I think they just want accounts to be active. But again, if they track bot activity, that's not the bot's not the account. That could just be a script. Whatever. Also in chat, from what I understand, it has to do with data protection laws related to inactive accounts. Again, I believe that. I think that might be right. I think that is part of it. There hasn't been a ton of information coming out of Ubisoft about this. Literally came out of one user who got the email. A user got an email that was like, yeah, you might get deleted soon. And he's like, what the fuck? So, but I think that comment may be accurate. There are certainly data protection laws in terms of privacy rights and especially for minors, which in most countries is still under 18. So if you have an account and you are under 18, you fall under different privacy protection rights. And that may be another reason that Ubisoft is like, we got to get rid of accounts. Like we literally just can't have the risk of having some, somebody who was 12 at the time or whatever. You were 12 at the time, you're 15 now, you're still under these laws and we still haven't seen you in forever. We've got to get rid of your data. So I that may be 100% accurate. And I think that's part of the problem, is that these companies have to do things that their customers don't like. But what the customers need to realize, what all of us need to realize, is that the people we elected to our governments, they're the ones making it happen. There's a trade-off. Just saying. Let's see. Yes, Activision Blizzard. Let's talk about Activision Blizzard. Why are we talking about Activision Blizzard? Because in the last couple of weeks, huge developments in the merger with Microsoft. Basically, the deal is done. And I say basically because there are two big caveats that still have to occur. The Federal Trade Commission of the United States, which has been the huge roadblock. If the FTC blocks this deal, it's dead. There is no recovery. It cannot proceed in anywhere on earth. It's done. Microsoft will stop. There were two things going on, and this gets a little complicated if you haven't kept up. We've talked about the Activision Blizzard deal before, but this has a little more detail because of the developments of the last couple of weeks. Here's the thing. Microsoft was going to spend $67 to $68 billion to buy Activision Blizzard King. The United States Federal Trade Commission, which oversees monopolies, mergers, acquisitions, etc., they try to block anti-competitive practices. They stopped the deal two different ways. So first, the FTC sued Microsoft in FTC court. Yes, that is a thing. It is a separate legal division in the United States. It is specifically under its own court system. It has to adhere to U.S. laws, but it is a special set of court systems, kind of like the way that the United States handles intelligence. So, like classified intelligence, it doesn't go through the regular U.S. court system. It goes with what's called the FISA court, and separate judges. It's a whole distinct thing, still bound by U.S. law. So this is the thing for the FTC. The FTC did two things. It sued Microsoft there and said, we are stopping your potential merger because we think it is anti-competitive. We think it will hurt the marketplace of the United States. It will not be pro-capitalism. The second thing that happened was that the FTC court process takes a long time. So what they did was the FTC also sued in what is a federal, was it a federal court? I think it was, they sued in federal court. I'm trying to remember the jurisdictions. They sued in federal court, and they have to sue in the jurisdiction where Microsoft is located, which happens to be in the Pacific part of the United States, and it fell under the Ninth Circuit. That came through, and they said, we're suing immediately. We need you to stop the merger while the FTC court proceeds. They went to trial, as they are supposed to do. They went to trial in the federal court. They went through all the evidence and testimonies and a huge production. This is where you saw all of those things coming out about things that Phil Spencer said and things that PlayStation said and all the redacted documents. We talked about this on previous episodes. The redacted documents where Sharpie screwed over Microsoft unintentionally. Or PlayStation. Sorry, they screwed over PlayStation. So anyways, they went through the entire trial process. And in the last few days, the trial court judge has said the case is done. There is no reason that the FTC has shown that this is going to be anti-competitive. In fact, the judge in this case flat out said very, very bluntly, Microsoft has committed in writing, in court, and in contracts, every way that Microsoft can publicly show that it is not going to be anti-competitive, they've done it. They're going to be keeping games on other PlayStation. They're going to be keeping games on other platforms. They're going to be releasing titles to multiple platforms. They're not going to lock all of their intellectual property down once they own Activision Blizzard. So Call of Duty, there is a written contract. There's a public statement. There is court evidence that says PlayStation will get Call of Duty for the next 10 years. The judge cited a bunch of these things. The judge was like, look, there's a ton of evidence that Microsoft is going to keep this competitive. Microsoft is going to share with its enemies, basically, and all of that. There's no reason to block this case. This is a thing that the merger can proceed because the merger does not appear to be anti-competitive, because Microsoft has had its feet held to the fire. It's going to keep titles open. So what do you want me to do? You're literally asking this court to block something that the company has written that they won't do. So we're kind of cool with it. So great. The judge hands down her ruling. She says that the merger can proceed. There is no reason to block it. The FTC needs to shut up. That last part was my addition. Within hours of that decision, the UK body, the CMA, the UK body has almost immediately came out and said, okay, you know that thing earlier, like a few months ago, where we said that they couldn't merge? Yeah, we're going to revisit that. Oops. Again, we've talked about this before. The UK CMA, they had to come under immense, I forgot how to speak English. They come under immense pressure to reconsider their decision because they blocked the merger. They flat out said, you cannot merge in the UK. No. The FTC hadn't gotten that far yet. So the CMA immediately came out and said, okay, we had all these anti-competitive concerns. It turns out that Microsoft has addressed these. We're going to revisit our block of the merger. The FTC within days, because, the federal government of the United States is not the fastest thing on the planet. The FTC took days and then came out and said, we will also revisit our trial and effect, I think it was Friday. I think it was the 20th. Is it 20 or 21st? 20th or 21st of July, the FTC came out and said that they are going to stop their trial. They're literally going to halt it and begin negotiating with Microsoft again. So you saw this, I think it's in the show title, but basically my assumption at this point is that the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger is done. They have the green light. The court has not stopped it. And now both of the regulatory agencies are saying, all right, let's talk. Let's figure out how to make this work because we're still not happy and they still have the right to block it. I will tell you, the FTC or the CMA could still come back and block these deals. I don't think they will. I think the pressure is enough. I think Microsoft has gone above and beyond. If I was Microsoft, I might not have gone this far. But they have taken some huge leaps and they're just like, yeah, we're going to not, we're not being anti-competitive. We just want to own this shit. It's like, it's cool stuff. So it's basically a kid saying, I really want to own the sandbox, but I'll still let all the kids play there. It's not like they're building a wall. Anyways. So yeah. So I think that from now on, we can consider this a done deal. We still have some details to work out. The FTC and the CMA got to do their thing. But I think that from now moving forward, we can all basically assume that this is going to happen and we will have a Microsoft Activision Blizzard. Microsoft will own Call of Duty and many others. That's that. Next up, Diablo 4. Jug, why are we talking about Diablo 4? It seems to be a recurring theme on this show. Boy, I really wish it wasn't, but it is. For all of you Diablo 4 players, I'm not one of you, but I'm still talking about your game because it is important to gaming and that's what this show is all about. Why are we talking about Diablo 4? We're talking about Diablo 4 because they came out with a patch. Whew, that didn't go well. Oh, by the way, Diablo 4, now owned by Microsoft. Just FYI. It's a Blizzard product. It's now owned by Microsoft. Anyways, so they did, where did it go? 3 directors, I'm just going to read this from an article on The Verge. 3 directors working on Diablo 4 held a campfire chat live stream yesterday, which yesterday for them was the 21st, right? Yeah, let's go with the 21st. Saying that they will change how they roll out patches after an incremental version 1.1.0 patch for the game abruptly nerfed players' builds. They promise updates like that won't happen in the future, at least not the same way. It was bad. And I think we all saw it. If you played the game, you certainly experienced it. The patch was done in such a stupid way that all of a sudden your builds were screwed up. You couldn't progress. It was so bad. But there was an interesting apology. And we give credit to game devs or social platforms, whatever. When they get things right, they get the credit. When they get things wrong, they're going to hear about it. In the live stream, Associate Director Joe Pipiora. Fuck, Joe. I am so sorry to butcher your name like that. Associate Director Joe Pipiora? Pipiora? Okay, I'm just going to... Joe Pipiora Game director Joe Shelley and community chief Adam Fletcher acknowledged complaints about the patch, which massively reduced player power for some builds. Fletcher said of the reduction that, quote, "We know it is bad, we know it is not fun," end quote. And he added, quote, "We don't plan on doing a patch like this ever again." Woo! It's pretty bad when you have to go onto a chat and be like, yeah, we screwed the pooch on that one. So whatever. They did announce a couple of things. If you haven't heard about this, again, all of your gaming news comes from Papa Jug. You know that. In the short term, there is at least one quick fix coming to rebalance things after the 1.1.0 patch. PJParty said the team felt that nightmare dungeons in the game are, quote, dramatically overtuned, end quote, and that tier 100 nightmare dungeons are, quote, excruciatingly difficult, end quote, for most classes, resulting in players pursuing very specific builds. Get it. It works. You know, thank you. You've recognized the problem. You're trying to address it. Your first address of it was a disaster, and now you're going to fix it. Always thank you. We appreciate that. PJParty said that it was never the intention to make things that hard. The team plans to drop the difficulty of those tier 100 dungeons by about 30% later today. So hopefully by the time this is out, that new patch is dropped and those builds are fixed. Or the dungeons are fixed. Sorry, your builds may still be screwed up, but whatever. To balance it won't be restoring player power to previous levels, in other words, but making the game world a little easier to deal with. So you're still going to be nerfed, but the world will be too. There you go. There is a 1.1.1 patch that will balance things further, but it hasn't been finished yet. They're still working on it. It will add more monsters to Nightmare Dungeons and some Helltide events so that players at higher levels can have fun mowing monsters down as they move through them. In its next Campfire chat, scheduled for Friday, July 28th, which will be the Friday after you see this episode or hear this episode, Blizzard will talk more about the patch, which Fletcher says will be out in a couple of weeks. So you've still got a little ways to go for the 1.1.1, but there will be a hot fix for 1.1.0, and it's not going to restore your build probably, but it will nerf the world so that you can use your new crap build to finish crap levels. There you go. So there's that. And now for the final topic of the night, I want to talk about GPUs. GPUs are, again, they're coming out for the summer. We've got the new products, especially the new RXs from NVIDIA. We've got all of those things, but Tom's Hardware went through and re-benchmarked all of the, what do they call it? The GPU benchmarks and hierarchy of 2023 graphics cards ranked. So they went through and they did this. There was an important thing that came out here. I will put this in the show notes just so you guys can see it later, but I'm going to talk to you about what I see in this chart. So here's the thing. Unsurprisingly, okay, you've got the RTX. Sorry, I said NVIDIA's RX. I meant NVIDIA's RTX and AMD's RX. They really need to separate these product names. The RTX 4090, okay? The RTX 4090 came through as the best performing game card. It can deliver at a 1080p resolution. Some were like the testing schematics were a little funky, but for the most part, it was a 1080p. I will read this. For our latest benchmarks, we've tested nearly all GPUs released in the past 7 years. Okay, 7 years, plus a few extras at 1080p medium and 1080p ultra, and they sorted the results table by the 1080p ultra results. So they're literally saying at the hardest of the hard, the best of the best, this is what we get. Okay. On this chart, at frames per second, which is what it's measuring, frames per second, the RTX 4090 was about 152 frames per second. Really, really great performance. So highest graphics settings. Can it still deliver? Yes. The new RTX is the RTX 4090 is coming in at about 152 frames a second. Now, the RX, so the AMD RX 7900 XTX, which is kind of ironic because that's new Twitter, old Twitter, new Twitter. Anyways, the RX 7900 XTX, that came in at just a few frames lower. Is that a big deal? For some people, yeah. Here's the interesting part. I will read this directly from the site, and I was like, oh, hell. Oh, by the way, I will tell you. Well, first let me tell you about this pricing thing that I noticed. Okay. The NVIDIA RTX 4090, it ranks first by a few frames, not a lot. But it costs 60% more than the AMD 7900. 60% more than the 7900. Like, if you just want to talk value, get the AMD card. Now, AMD has some quality concerns. Hasn't been the most reliable set of GPUs on the planet, but whatever. They're improving. I think a lot of people in the hardware and IT space will tell you that AMD has improved. For a 60% price differential, holy shit. That's insane. I gotta tell you, 5 extra, I'll use like a roundish number. 5 extra frames is not worth a 60% price bump for me. I don't think it would be for most of you either, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah. The 4090, so we're going to go back to the NVIDIA. The 4090 can encounter CPU bottlenecks. You got to remember, this isn't an individual piece. It runs with the rest of your system. CPU bottlenecks at 1440p and 1080p. The new cards typically match previous gen GPUs that are 1 or 2 model tiers higher. So, for example, the 4070 Ti versus the 3090 Ti, or the 6600 XT versus the 5700 XT. You know, you got to remember, these are incremental things. These are evolutionary, not revolutionary changes. Okay, nobody has rewritten the world of GPUs this year. They're just like, hey, we got faster stuff. Woohoo! You know, more processors. The RTX 4060 Ti ranks as the most efficient GPU, followed by the RTX 4070, and then the AMD 6600. Okay. In all of this, NVIDIA, I'm adding letters now. NVIDIA consistently outperforms AMD, but again, the price point reflects that, so maybe it's okay to get that slightly lower quality GPU if it saves you a ton of money. Not all gamers have, 4 monitor setups and RGB lights that cost $5,000 behind them and all this shit. That's not most gamers. You might want to save some, just save some coin. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. So do your research, okay? A couple of reminders. We have in the PJParty Discord, there is a section dedicated to hardware. You will find multiple experts who are experts in IT. They're experts in computer hardware. They're experts in setups. You will find them there. If you are looking for somebody that you can ask questions to, I invite you, join the PJParty Discord. The links are in the links. The link is in the description of every both audio and YouTube show. So you can just click that link, join the Discord, head on over to the tech section, and go ask your questions. You can also contribute. If somebody asks a question that you know the answer to, you're okay to share. It's cool. It's a very open community. We're great. We're good that way. So make sure you do that. And like I said, I will be at TwitchCon this year. Hopefully I will see you at TwitchCon. I would love to meet more of the PJParty community at TwitchCon. I had other stuff. Yeah, there was more. Whatever. I'll handle it next time. Yeah, we're good to go, everybody. So, TwitchCon coming up, I will be there. The PJParty community is going to be getting a massive upgrade over the next month or so. I should be done with what I think is going to be all of it by the end of this month. And then in August, you'll be seeing all the new features rolling out. Lots more incentives. There is new PJParty merch that's coming out. There's going to be new rewards for both subs and non-subs, members and non-members, giveaways, all kinds of stuff that we're working on for the rest of the year. But right now, just a big overhaul and upgrade of the community as a whole, where you can find content, how you can join, how do you get incentives for those joinings. All those different things are coming out. So as always, I appreciate everybody who is part of this community. Please remember to like, comment, share, whatever you can do on the podcast. I appreciate it. If you're on iTunes, for example, please give it a 5-star rating. If you're on Spotify, please give it a 5-star. Would love to get your feedback on it. Anything that you can help with the growth right now. It's a brand new show. So if you can help this grow by sharing, I really, really value that. So we've got all of that stuff happening. And then Special guest coming in the month of August. We have a special guest that will be joining the show talking about a very important topic, and I think you're going to like it. So that'll be coming up soon. And in the meantime, go have yourself a good morning, a good day, a good night, whatever it is for you, and I will see you next time. See ya!